Welcome back. This is lesson 6 of module 1, unit 1. What are we learning and doing today? So we are still learning about why school is important, but we are also going to be reading aloud The Invisible Boy. Again, we're going to go over our learning target poem, and if you guys will just say the poem with me. Think of the thing you desire to learn. Believe in yourself and your efforts will earn the ability to learn something new. Now take your aim at the target true. Our learning targets for today are: I can participate in discussion to answer questions using details from the invisible boy to support my answers. The other learning target is I can define the words visible and invisible. We are going to get started with our read aloud, which is The Invisible Boy, and it is by Trudy Ludwig, illustrated by Patrice Barton. Can you see Brian, the invisible boy? Even Miss Carlotti has trouble noticing him in her classroom. She's too busy dealing with Nathan and Sophie. Nathan has problems with what Mrs. Carlotti calls volume control. He uses his outside voice inside too much. Sophie whines and complains when she doesn't get her way. Nathan and Sophie take up a lot of space. Brian doesn't. When the bell rings for recess, Micah and JT take turns choosing kids for their kickball teams. The best players get picked first. Then the best friends of the best players. Then the friends of the best friends. Only Brian is left, still waiting and hoping. In the cafeteria, Madison and her friends talk about her birthday party. The rope swing over the pool was awesome, says JT. Yeah, so was the water slide, adds Fiona. That was the best pool party ever. I'm so glad you guys had fun, says Madison. Everybody did except Brian. He wasn't invited. At choosing time, while the other kids play board games and read, Brian sits at his table, doing what he loves to do best. He draws fire-breathing dragons scaling tall buildings. Thank you for toasting my marshmallow. Space aliens locked into intergalactic battles. I got you now. Greedy pirates digging for treasure. Crackers? Arg! Yay! And superheroes with the power to make friends wherever they go. On Monday morning, Mrs. Carlotti introduces Justin, a new student, to the class. Brian smiles shyly at him. Some of the other kids sneak a look at Justin, trying to figure out if he's cool enough to be their friend. They haven't quite made up their minds yet. At lunch, Madison and JT watch Justin eat with chopsticks. What's that? asks Madison as she points at Justin's food. It's bulgogi. What? Bulgogi, it's Korean barbecued beef. My grandma made it for me. It's really good. Do you want some? There's no way I'd eat bulgogi. All the kids laugh. All of them, that is, except Brian. He sits there wondering which is worse, being laughed at or feeling invisible. The next day, when Justin goes to his cubby to put away his backpack, he notices a piece of paper with his name on it. Justin, I thought the bulgogi looked good. Brian, yum. At morning recess, Brian finds a piece of chalk on the ground and starts drawing away. You're Brian, right? Yeah. Thanks for the note. Hey, Justin, Emilio calls out from the tetherball court. You're up next. Sorry, gotta go, says Justin. By the way, that's a really cool drawing, he adds before taking off. Back in class, Mrs. Carlotti asks the kids to team up in twos or threes for a special project. The kids scurry around the room to pair off. Brian heads towards Justin. I'm already with Justin, says Emilio. Find someone else. Brian looks at the floor, wishing he could draw a hole right there to swallow him up. Mrs. Carlotti said we could have up to 3 people in our group. We're only 2. Come on, Emilio, let him work with us. Okay, I guess. Mrs. Carlotti gives the class directions for the project. Your assignment is to work together to write a story about what you see in that photograph. Use your imagination and have fun. Whoa, cool, says Emilio. What kind of people do you think would live in houses like that? I don't know, but I bet Brian could draw them to go with our story, says Justin. Brian smiles as he takes out his lucky pen. The crooked story we made up on the spot. It's lunchtime again, Brian's least favorite part of the day. Another long minutes of kids talking and laughing with everyone else but him. Brian, he hears someone about. Hey, Brian, over here. Brian turns to see Justin, waving him over. Emilio nods at Brian as he makes room for him at the table. Cookie? Thanks. Maybe, just maybe, Brian's not so invisible after all. We are going to move into looking at the Freyer model. This example of the Freyer model is looking at 2 different words, the words invisible and the words visible. In our Freyer model, we have the option to add our definition, our sentence, similar and related words, and a picture. We're going to go through and work through the invisible Freyer model first, and then you guys will have an opportunity to work through the visible Freyer model on your own. So first, we're looking at invisible, and we see that invisible has in at the beginning, which we know means not. So our definition is not able to be seen. Our sentence is, I cannot see the boy because he is invisible. Similar or related words are words that are very similar words to the words invisible. We have unnoticed, unseen, hidden, out of sight, see-through, clear, gone away. And then for our picture, I added the outline of a person because our person is invisible. Now it's your turn. You are going to do a Freyer model in your workbook on your page 10, and you will be able to add the definition, a sentence, similar words, and a picture for the word visible. Pinky Partners Protocol. This is a new protocol we're learning. So our Pinky Partners Protocol, you stand up with your work or ideas and place your pinky in the air. Move calmly and quietly and link pinkies with another partner. One partner shares his or her work or ideas while the other partner listens. Once both partners have shared, safely make a tent with your arms to show that you are done.